Absolutely. Always concerned about them because largely we can't see them. We don't know when they're going to be up. I know when the area they're supposed to be at, but sometimes people don't follow the rules. It's great working with folks that are active on the radio, let us know they're there, because when we're above a drone looking down on a scene, you just get lost in the ground a lot of the time. Doesn't matter how many lights are on and what color it is. If it blends into the background, it's just very difficult to spot. "23025 is helicopter air-to-air frequency. We're always on that as news helicopters and EMS. Anytime you see one of us above, it would be absolutely great if you gave us a holler, because chances are, again, we're not going to see you. What would be most helpful is, hey, helicopter with some sort of description. Hey, red helicopter. Hey, news helicopter. Whatever the case may be, anything you see. Hey, just so you know, we're operating a drone in this area, and give us an altitude where you're at. That's massively helpful. At that point, we're going to work with you. We're going to tell you, okay, I'm at this altitude. I'm not going to go below this. That way there's no interference and everyone's happy. It makes me feel a whole lot better. I mean, I'm still going to keep looking. Ideally, I'm going to try and keep you in sight the whole time, but it does make me feel a lot more at ease. I'm not there to save lives. I'm there just to cover the story. So I'm probably just going to go higher and give you all the room you need to work. That's the way we generally operate. We have a pretty good camera. We can see pretty far away. So we can give you plenty of room, and everyone's happy that way. Well, we're all flying. A lot of us have a little bit of type A in us. The reality is, no one owns it. No one can tell the other person to go away. Unless the TFR is posted, the helicopter can legally be there. It's much, much easier if everyone just talks and works together. But no, you can't kick us out. You can ask, and we'll absolutely work with you, but no one can kick the other guy out. Hey, Red News Helicopter, I see you're above me. I'm flying a drone with Wake Forest Fire Department, operating in this area, covering this scene. I'm going to be below X altitude, approximately this far from the location. It's just a radio, it's just talking. No one's gonna get on there and rag on you. Just remember, push the button, wait half a second. There's a little bit of a delay. And then also don't ramble on. Keep it short and concise, speak clearly. That's about it. Absolutely not. I'm listening to 3 radios in the helicopter, coordinating with the photographers, coordinating with the news station. So it can get pretty busy in there, and depending on where we're at, I may be working with airspace with local control towers or anything that may be going on. I'll get back with you. But sometimes it may not get an immediate response. If you don't hear back from the pilot within a reasonable amount of time, say 60 seconds, 2 minutes, sure, give them another call. But don't get irritated right off the bat, please. So before we get to a scene, we typically will have an address or GPS coordinates. We're working on a timely manner, so we're usually screaming in. Within 1 or 2 miles, we get a location on the scene visually. At that point, I start coordinating with the photographer so they can find the scene with the camera. They are then coordinating with the news station, making sure that they're receiving the video. I'm hearing all of that communication in my headset. Coming up on scene, I'm also looking for any other news helicopters, potentially any other obstacles in the area. At that point, we typically set up into an orbit right off the bat, get a lay of the land, and then from there we'll start to decide where we need to be for whatever shot works for us. We're all working on the same frequency, that 23025, same air-to-air for all helicopters. We'll see each other coming in, and we start communicating immediately. Typically, the news helicopters, we work together on a daily basis, so we're comfortable working in close proximity. We've built a trust there. Law enforcement typically flies pretty low, well below us. So that kind of takes care of itself. We'll communicate with them, say, hey, whatever helicopter you're in, I'm going to be up at this altitude. I see you down there. We'll give you plenty of room to work. Because again, I want to give law enforcement every opportunity they can to do their job the best. And that usually works out pretty good. Everyone just kind of separates themselves vertically within the airspace. Biggest thing I think for drone guys is it's a lot easier for you to see up, see what you're operating, see another aircraft than it is top looking down. Top looking down, it's a lot harder to spot what you're operating down below me. So keep that in mind. Just because you can see everything and you see that, there's plenty of separation, doesn't mean that there necessarily may be. Different line of sight changes how perspective looks quite a bit. Also, keep an eye on altitudes. I know the areas where you're allowed to operate up to. Make sure you're within those, please. They're there for reasons. Of course, happens all the time. Plenty of folks should be on the radio, aren't on the radio. And when you can't communicate with them, you have to assume you have no idea what they're going to do. So that really changes how you operate.